Court, where every visit is a celebration.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. 5-gallon fruit trees, oak, and maple trees, only $26.97. That's a savings of $9 per tree. Get a DeWalt 20-volt max brushed compact drill and impact driver kit with 2 batteries, carrying case, and bonus bit set for only $159 with your Ace Rewards card. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At the toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality, price, and comfort you like, the savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco.
For hard work and the great outdoors.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There's only a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the south. High temperatures today, mid to upper 70s. Clear skies, mid to upper 50s overnight. And then a few rain showers possible on Thursday, a high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hit.line.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My hot dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Oh, we have found the breaking point in NIL today, have we not? Welcome into halftime and a very pleasant good morning on a Wednesday across our listening audience in the lovely state of Arkansas. It's halftime. We'll take you up until 2 o'clock. I'm Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, and Christian Johnston, the C Unit, producing at least for the first couple of hours. We'll have Clay Henry on in about an hour, our one and only Hall of Famer fisherman friend, and we'll have Grant Hall in about 15 minutes. And Matt Jones, good morning to you. It's nice to see you in the studio today. What do you feel about a renegotiating of a contract today in the middle of a football season? I guess we could do that in radio. We could just kind of threaten to walk off the job and force C-Unit and C-45 to do the show together. I think they could call that a holdout or a strike or something like that. But, man, with this situation with Matthew Sluka, the now former UNLV quarterback, I think we have found the breaking point in NIL today, my friend.
Happy Wednesday. Looking forward to a good show. No question about it. So what's the deal? It's not supposed to be performance-based, but he started off well. He wants to renegotiate, this wild, wild west as they make it up. Does it set a bad precedent? Does Barry Odom, do they say, yeah, we got to give the kid what he wants? What is his deal? What's he want? Is it
there's conflicting 20%? Reports.
Yeah, that's all. Just what kind of are some of the numbers he was wanting?
Well, I don't know exactly any of the numbers that are coming out here, but I mean, when you see a headline that's basically saying that a quarterback of a 3-0 team, the starting quarterback of a 3-0 team, is going into the transfer portal to preserve his redshirt year, and the reason he gets the redshirt year is because he was a freshman in the 2020 pandemic season at Holy Cross. You immediately are thinking, well, he didn't get what he was promised. Or usually you'd think, wow, the guy's not getting what he expects in terms of playing time, so he's going to quit and go find something else, somewhere else to play. This guy, I think, had taken just about every snap for UNLV in this 3-0 start under Barry Odom. And there are these conflicting reports about this. You have, on one hand, reports coming from a UNLV insider named Joe Arrigo that Sluka and his family had hired an agent after the 3-0 start. This would be their bye week. And then, therefore, they decided, or last week would have been the bye week. So now they decide his market value went up since they're 3-0 and might have a path to the playoff as the group of 5 champion. And then they go to Barry Odom, essentially, and demand more money because we right now are in a better position than we thought we were when we agreed to come play here in Las Vegas. And then there are other reports that are conflicting, where apparently Sluka's NIL representation, they use a different term now for agent, Matt. It's called NIL representation. A gentleman said that Sluka was verbally promised a minimum of $100,000 from a UNLV assistant coach and that none of that money was ever paid. So in that case, you can see there you're getting really, in one aspect, rumors from an insider about a demand for more money, and then really reading the player, and I don't want to call him a kid because I think he's 23 or 24, but reading Sluka's explanation that he put out on social media, it sounded like things that were promised were not actually delivered, and that's what his representation is saying too. So we're getting 2 different stories about this. Man, that's a tough deal to leave your teammates like that. Yeah, you just kind of want to know what the disconnect is. That's weird to hire you set the I don't know the rules. The portal's open. You negotiate with the team. I thought didn't last year, didn't they give everybody a truck on that UNLV team? I don't know. Was that the squad? Maybe it was Utah. Maybe Utah started out 3-0. One of those teams started out like 3 or 4-0, and everybody got like a Ford Raptor. Well, all I know is this is somebody that, you got to look at it in both ways in this case because we don't know the facts about this. If you were promised a certain amount of money to go play somewhere and that's not delivered, should you continue to play for that team? Because right now, the reason they're doing this here is that he's got, 4 games would mean you can't redshirt any longer, which means you can't go play anywhere else. So I could imagine if the truth is that he was promised, in this case, a minimum of $100,000 and none of it was ever paid, then, what are you doing throughout camp or the first 3 weeks of the season? You go to the coach and say, hey, we got to talk about money while, oh, by the way, we're worrying about Kansas' defensive plan and how Houston's going to attack us on the blitz. And maybe none of that was ever brought to bear. Maybe the money in this case was never paid, and you got to make a threat at some point, and then that threat has to go through. If it's on the other side, if it's that he was paid what it was that he had expected to be paid, and then demanded more, essentially, and it wasn't delivered to him, so therefore he's going to go into the portal and expect to play for somebody else, which I would say in that case, are there really going to be a lot of other FBS programs that are beating down the walls to sign a quarterback who was completing, I think, about 55% of his passes at Holy Cross and is under 50%? He's more of a running quarterback, and hey, we've had that conversation here about Taylor Green too. I think people will feel differently depending on what the truth is in this. But the fact of the matter is that this is the breaking point of NIL, Matt. This is the breaking point. This isn't somebody that's going on to the next phase of his life. This isn't somebody who's hurt and is worried about quality of life as he gets older. It isn't even about finding the right place to showcase your talents for the NFL. This to me feels more than anything about, this is my one chance to cash in monetarily for
his
football.
Earning power is the highest it's ever. That you're exactly right. This is the most money this kid will ever make playing football, and he sees one more year. There's one more go around at it with the COVID redshirt rule that they got going on. So, I mean, can you blame the kid? I don't know. I find it hard to quit on your teammates. But there's a business. It's the business side of it. So yeah, that's.
He even wished his teammates well and wished the program lots of success.
And if you don't want to be here, I think we were talking earlier today, Phil, before on this. I mean, before the show about some other things. It was like, if you don't want to be here, well, then I don't want to force you to be here. If this isn't for you and you're not digging it, well, then there's the door, and we'll see you later. So, I mean, if the kid doesn't want to be there anymore, there's really nothing you can do about it.
I will feel differently about this depending on what the truth is. What really is going on behind here? If he signed to play for a specific amount of money and was being paid what the agreement said, and then agent is hired, parents say you're worth more than this, and then 3 weeks into the season you go and demand more, I'll be on the school side for this. If it was that if he was promised a certain amount of money and it never came, I'm on the player's side in that case. We don't live in that world. I mean, just because it's college football and it's changing and people don't like that the sport that they've grown up loving and don't want it to change, it can't be about that. We live in a system. We live in a society now, and even in college football, this is the case where you work and you're paid to do it. And when you are expecting a certain amount of money that the two parties agreed upon, let me put it in these terms: if I wasn't paid what I was agreeing on the school side. So it's really a matter of what's the truth here, and we're hearing two different truths.
You hate it. Maybe the kid plays somewhere else and has success somewhere else. Maybe he doesn't. When you're thinking about what more is to come out. But if you're in this recruiting cycle in this transfer portal window that everything is going on, I think it's important how you leave your last team. I've talked about that. If there are kids that they don't play the last 3 games and kind of quit on. I mean, you got to complete the task. Once you sign up, I had piano lessons when I was like 7, 8 years old, and I went to it for the first month. It was cool, and then none of my friends were doing it, so I cried every day. I don't want to do piano. I don't want to. No, you signed up for a year commitment. You're going to honor your commitment, and then we'll figure it out next year. So that's you kind of gotta be a man. Character has to be something. You got to kind of be a man of your word. And what it sounds like to what you're saying, either UNLV's not a man of the word, or the kid hasn't been a man of his word.
Right, and people are picking sides already based upon the players' statistics and completion percentage and all of that. All of that is just to the side of what this is about. What was agreed upon, what was delivered, what was not delivered. That's what that's about. Not his completion percentage, not even the team's record. None of that stuff matters in terms of this. The school, Matt, had leverage. Their leverage is your point. Your point that other schools, if he's going to go into the portal and expect to get signed by somebody else, this is what he's remembered for. Quitting on a team 3 games into a 3-0 season where maybe they could have ended up in a playoff, right? He would have been remembered for being the quarterback that maybe takes UNLV to a playoff. Now he's remembered in a completely different way. That is UNLV's leverage. You don't want to be remembered by this. Nobody's going to sign you. He's trying to call their bluff on that.
Man, you get a chance to play this wonderful game, and you don't know, the Brett Favre thing comes out with Parkinson's, and this it's a young man's game, and you get a chance to play it. You better take the opportunity, because the chances as you get older, you don't get this many chances, and it doesn't sound like he's really that good. It doesn't sound like he's going to play on Sundays. Maybe you go to the CFL, and I hope the best for the kid, but it all of a sudden you wake up and you're 38 and you can't play sports anymore. So you want to play the sports while you're young.
And I was kind of wondering, what did you potentially pay that piano tutor in meatballs? Was there any chance you paid in food?
Like, how am I supposed to earn a living? And no, it was just like a high school. They're teaching you to read music, and when you look back on it, I wish I would have continued to take piano lessons, and farther. But when you're 8 years old, all you want to do is go out in the park and play with your buddies.
Well, or just bang on the piano with every inch of your arm potentially.
Throw baseballs at snowball. Yeah, have a snowball. Whatever you can do.
Exactly right. So that's where we kick off halftime today. This will kind of be the theme for the entire show, is my expectation. And we'll be talking about that and Arkansas A&M, some of the other big games across college football, big stuff going on in Major League Baseball as well. And we'll take your calls and texts as we go throughout halftime up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, when Ruskin and Zach take over. But we'll step aside for a moment. Grant Hall joins halftime right after this break.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
This is halftime.
With his new glasses. It's like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Indeed, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what college football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com. SportsMyPillow.com.
This is Northside head football coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land. You can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing. So customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Ain't no country club either. This is LA. Have a little fun before I die. The man next to me, out of nowhere. His name is Will. I'm sure it's Bill. Really a macaroni. Wait a minute, and I wonder if he's ever had a thing fun in his whole life. We are drinking beer at noon on Tuesday. The bar in the face. Washing their cars on their lunch break. Moving and scrubbing as best they can in skirts and suits. Drive their shiny Datsuns and Buicks. But then nothing like really me, 'cause all I want to do is have fun. I'm not the only one.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Right now on our hotline is Grant Hall, one and only Hall of Famer. We got to rename Wednesdays to Hall of Fame Wednesdays since we've got Grant and Clay Henry with us. Hey, Grant, I hear you chuckling back there, but it's legit. You're a legit Hall of Famer. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good. I like the Santa Monica Boulevard.
There we
It's
go.
pretty, but it's
Yeah.
got nothing on
You also like
Northwest
great. You also like a good beer buzz early in the morning.
I don't drink beer.
There you go.
But I tell you, this is an interesting day in Northwest Arkansas. Hunter Yurchek speaking at the Hogs Illustrated luncheon here in a few minutes, and got practice for the Northwest Arkansas championship over at Pinnacle, where I think 5 Arkansas connected players are going to be in. I've already seen Stacy Lewis, congratulated her for the Solheim Cup. Yesterday, Jose Marine played a practice round with Gabby Lopez, and they both hit it to about a foot on number 1 for birdie. So they're in good shape. Saw Maria Fossey. She played in the morning yesterday. And I think Alana Uriel is going to get in. She was first alternate. Usually that list, her number will come up. So I think you'll have 5. Some other ones on this year's team didn't qualify Monday, but Christina Kim did. Christina, I think, forgot to get her entry fee in. And so she went over and shot 68 at the Blessings where they had the qualifier on Monday, and hit one of the best shots I've ever seen. On her last hole was the 9th hole, and she hit it off the flagstick, to secure her score there. So a lot going on, and I know, Phil, we were texting on baseball back and forth this morning, but I'm going to do Warner Wolf used to be on the Don Imus in the morning program, and he would say, like he would have said for last night, if you had Paul Goldschmidt with more RBIs than Andrew Benintendi this year, you lost because Benny has 61 and Goldschmidt has 60 through last night.
Well, and Benny's been coming on a little bit of late. I know he had a base hit. I think it was the go-ahead hit for the White Sox yesterday. So, and maybe I should look at this a little different than I have been, Grant, because I'm rooting for futility, but I shouldn't root for futility when two prominent Razorbacks are involved in it with Benintendi and also Dominic Fletcher. And it's kind of funny. I saw Hagen Smith at a Razorback baseball scrimmage. I think it was either last week or the Friday before. And I'd asked him about his first pitch and everything. He told me he met Jerry Reinsdorf, who's probably the least popular sports figure in the entire city of Chicago, if not the entire state of Alabama. Hagen, you got to shake your hand because the guy's paying you, but understand who it is.
Well, I got out for some of I think it was the Saturday or Sunday scrimmage, I believe, and talked to Dave just a little bit afterwards. And he is so into this Arkansas baseball team that he didn't realize the Royals had lost 6 in a row at that point. And I think he thought there were 2 more weeks in the baseball season, and there's 1. And so that shows how locked in he is about, I think, an Arkansas team that he really likes for this next season.
Grant, what are your thoughts? We got a big one, Texas A&M. Now it's been since 2022 since a Coach Pittman has beat a team that's going bowling. I don't think Auburn's going bowling. Last year we didn't beat a team that's going bowling. So it's been a while since he's won a game that's any meaning. I think Texas A&M will be a bowl team this year. What are you seeing? You like our chances?
Well, here's a fun nugget for this weekend, guys. The winner of this game is going to be outright leading the Southeastern Conference at 2-0 unless Georgia wins at Alabama, and then they would be 2-0. And I saw that Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite. Does that surprise either of you? Going to Alabama, which really has had the upper hand more often than not the last 7 or 8 games of that series. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, you could be sitting atop the SEC if you win this thing, and Hugh Freeze would take issue with your Auburn thought. Did you see where he said that?
Well, Auburn's they would win every game if they had better players, right? Yeah, if we didn't turn the ball over.
If we played Arkansas 9 more times, we would win 9 times, and I don't think that's the case. But I think that was a really good game. It was a slobber knocker, kind of an old timey game, lots of turnovers, which Arkansas had not been creating. And I thought I thought Auburn brought it, but so did Arkansas. And really, I mean, if they'd wanted to at the end, might have added a score. So it was pretty decisive, even though it was 24-14.
Hey, I mean, it's an ugly game. It was an ugly win, but you just got to be okay with the fact that it was ugly. Because I think, look, there may be a game later on in the season. I don't know who it might be. Maybe Ole Miss, maybe LSU, shootout possibilities, but. Arkansas's got to turn some of these games against some of the really, tough teams that are coming into Fayetteville, national championship contenders, Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss too. They got to turn those games into ugly slobber knockers. They have to create turnovers in those games somehow. That's the only way they're going to win. I mean, I think it can be a really high-powered Arkansas offense, but it'd be a little difficult to outscore those teams to get into the 40s or the 50s. I mean, to me, I look at them winning this ugly game and think maybe they can win ugly games. I think they'll need to win more of those.
I think the best thing about it was the carrying the ball 10 straight times on that last drive. I remember a long time ago there was a game, Arkansas beat Texas Tech, and they had a 9-play, 67-yard drive, and Ike Forte carried the ball every play. They knew he was coming. And they all the way to the end zone. I mean, that's long time ago. I saw Ike actually not too long ago. But anyway, the fact that they did that is going to make the offensive line feel really good about itself. And Sam said Monday he believes this offensive line is improved. They're getting a little healthier. Nichols should be getting healthier. So I mean. I know a lot of fans are apoplectic about completion percentage and things like that, but based on watching Talon throw the ball quite a bit in practice. I know he can throw better than he has been.
Hey, you brought up this Georgia-Alabama game, Grant. I feel like the winner of this game should be the number one team in the country. I'm going to take the home team. If I gave you Milroe or Carson Beck, which team do you think has the better of the two quarterbacks based on, what they're asked to do? Which one of these quarterbacks would you take?
I think probably Milroe. He had that one disastrous game last year. Saban sat him down, and he was really good the rest of the year. I know Beck is good, and I was wrong about Georgia last year. I thought they'd lose 4 games, and they lost one, and then got shut out at the end from the playoffs. But they're really good. It's still, to me, this is kind of an unknown quantity because you don't have Saban doing it, but you've got a pretty good coach, and they haven't seemed to miss too much so far this year. I think I would go with Alabama to win the game, actually.
Well, I think Georgia's favored because of the coaching matchup, and it's no slight on Kalen DeBoer at all. But I think in that case, how many points is a coach worth on the road? A national championship coach, a 2-time national championship winning coach. Understood that they lost to Bama the last time they played him, and that was on a neutral site. But if I'm looking at some of these things being equal and everything, if I'm putting money on it, I'd be thinking about who's got the national championships here, and it's Kirby Smart. I think that's why Georgia's favored.
And Auburn was favored over Arkansas last week, and they had kind of a little bit of an unsettled quarterback picture, and actually A&M does this week, and I think that favors Arkansas some. I mean, if you got 2 quarterbacks, some say you don't have one. I know they're both supposed to be pretty good, but Arkansas's got its guy, and I think he'll play better this week. And there's just something about that. I think Bobby Petrino is 5-0 against A&M. All when you consider where he's been, I believe Bob Holt had that nugget the other day for me, and he beat him when he was at Arkansas. So he'll be a factor, a big factor. I mean, he took care of Durkin last week with his calls. Now you said it was an ugly game, but to a lot of us that grew up with games like 10-7, 14-10, I don't think it was all that ugly.
Graham, we got to get your thoughts on the topic of the day with Matthew Sluka, I got to call him former UNLV quarterback, announcing he says he's going to transfer. I don't know who's going to pick him up, but we got all these conflicting reports as to whether or not he was paid what he was promised or if it was a matter of an agent now demanding more. But I think when you look back in the history of professional sports and how for decades, heck, over a century, the owners had all the leverage, literally all the leverage. The players had virtually no rights whatsoever in terms of negotiating and any sort of high ground to work from until free agency came around. And since that happened, it's flipped, and the players have a lot more power in terms of who's running the league and agreements than they ever did before. Flip to college sports now. Now it's the players who are trying to run some things in this case. I also wonder, though, about UNLV knows that they had some leverage, which is the image that this casts on the quarterback because he left a team that was 3-0.
Well, I think along with that is the story I'm sure you also saw about Danny White at Tennessee announcing a 10%, basically a surcharge, in which the ticket buyers are now essentially paying the players in the era of NIL and making no bones about it. I think it's actually basically 14.5% when you count everything that they're asked to give. And of course, right now Tennessee's flying high and probably only too happy to. There's a waiting list for season tickets at Neyland, which what is it, 101,000, something like that. And if you're winning, fans are with. But the sort of the mind-boggling thing about this is you think that now schools are doing things for which they would have been on probation 10, 12, 15 years ago, or even more. You couldn't do stuff like that, and now they're openly doing it and asking their fans to pay the freight, not just under the table.
And all in the shadows of Reggie Bush suing the Pac-12 and USC and the NCAA and everything, and it's just this is the topic that rules over college sports now. Grant, we'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on these Wednesdays. Always appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. See you.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall, the one and only Hall of Famer, with us every Wednesday on Halftime. Make sure you're getting over to Fish City Grill. They got great specials all throughout the month, and you got about a little less than a week to enjoy jalapeno bacon mahi tacos. You'll get grilled mahi with those, sweet chipotle aioli, cheddar jack cheese, and pico, and your sides are black beans and white rice. Ask about the salmon tabbouleh, fresh dill, tzatziki, and quinoa involved as well. 479-636-8833 to call Fish City Grill. You can get your favorites, so for curbside, pickup, or delivery. They're also online at fishcitygrill.com or visit them at South Bellevue Road, Rogers. Fish City Grill. You want to get with Halftime? We got an open segment coming up in a moment. 877-377-6963. And we are back right after this break.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch every game, every Sunday, all in one place. Which means you can watch the Dolphins, and the Broncos, and the Lions, and the Cowboys, and the Jets. Or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game, every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big.
It's been the state I'm in. My car broke down, so I waited for a shuttle bus. It never came. Instead, I got the rain. I broke the heel, I chipped the nail, I lost the dog, I couldn't feel. On days like these, on days like these, the last thing I need is you. You're back in my arms, pushing the fire, making the mountains. Are you close? Hey, why can't you see on days like these?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
There's going to be stuff about this Matthew Sluka story. It's pretty much coming out all day. Minute by minute, little drip, drip, drip. David Ubben of The Athletic now reporting that his father, Bob Sluka, has confirmed to The Athletic that he was promised $100,000 in February, was only paid $3,000. According to the father, they just kept deferring it, and to this day, we do not know why. So, again, it's the conflicting reports. I think the initial emotion of when you see the headline is to immediately blame the player. But it just seems that there's other angles to this as well.
Well, that's why you got to have a union. The players have to be protected. I want to say one of the few things that when I was talking to Hunter Yurachek during that weekend, how you kind of talk, but that's one thing I asked him, it's like the players have to be protected too. And he's like, absolutely, and that for situations just like this, because man, you're going to look back at this, and I don't think I think it's going to be it's easier to be more like Le'Veon Bell than it is somebody, like that's just more the trajectory that it's on when you get away and do that. It's just not a good look. And the kid wants to play ball. His earning powers, it's just not a good look at all.
It's not a good look either way when it comes to it, and it's not a good look for college football specifically. Like that's the thing that looks the worst with this, because now you feel like this is the kind of thing that may end up happening, with other teams. It would seem like a really small amount of teams where this can happen, but now you've got the script right in front of you.
Well, Phil, I think it happens. Maybe it's just portrayed a little bit different. I think it happened last year in women's basketball. I don't know, but
you know what?
But it's portrayed. It's not, it's a little bit, I think how you handle it could be a little bit different. And so I think it happens more than what we think.
But they don't have any representation. They have a single individual representation, but no union, which is what you're getting at here. And I'd sent you this story yesterday about the first baseman of the Pirates, Rowdy Tellez, who was DFA'd yesterday 4 plate appearances short of reaching the amount he would need to get a $200,000 incentive bonus. But that's also built into the agreement that the players' union and the owners agreed upon. So as tasteless as that is, and it is tasteless, but it fits right into the Pirates' ownership, it's also perfectly legal within the system that they've agreed upon and that they've built. I hate it for Tellez, and truthfully, like this reflects terribly upon the organization too. So other free agents will look at this and think, you know what? I mean, they're going to save every dollar they possibly can with me. But it was agreed upon. There is no agreed upon system in college sports. Literally nothing has been agreed upon. We're just making this up as we go, and nobody is in charge. And in some cases, when it comes to NIL, depending on the state, Georgia, Virginia, looking at you, it doesn't matter if anybody's in charge because all of the rules would be unenforceable within that state. So now you have state governments that are all for chaos in this case for college sports, because more means better, I guess. Just keep bringing it in, and when you're Georgia and you've got this crazy good football program that just can attract great players and collectives that can spend an incredible amount of money on it, that if there ever are guidelines to how this is supposed to operate, we don't have to stick to it. But, you bring up, Matt, the idea of how important a union is here with this. Like, you were part of a strong union with the NFL Players Association during your career. I mean, it's a pretty important aspect to actually having something and an organization or
there's rules,
an industry
there's guidelines,
where you can grow and move forward. The NFL's been doing that for years.
There's rules, there's guidelines, there's protocol, there's steps. That's right. To represent a player in the NFL, they have to go through a certain thing with the union. You have to be on the list of just the process to do it. Now, where you see some players now representing themselves, but in college, there's nothing like that. Whoever wants to say they're your representation, and also, you have a certain way to the agents get a certain fee. That's determined. The union, first round picks a certain fee, second round picks a certain fee, and where they don't have, who knows what these kids are given? Is it 3%? Is it 30%? The kids have to be protected. That's for sure.
They do, and they're not. I mean, they're protected by the idea that athletic departments, the people in the athletic departments care greatly about the student athletes. I'm around a lot of these people. I believe them when they say this. I think they love sports specifically. They love college sports specifically. They may be from the area, so they might love that program as well. But you get with these student athletes and one-on-one, and you form relationships with you, and you have to care about them. You have to care about their well-being and their futures, and success while they're there, helping you succeed in whatever your job is with the athletic department, because everybody's happy and successful when the teams are winning. But that is out of the good of our heart and all that kind of stuff. It's not actually written into any agreement between labor and employers, and that'll end up being the next step. I don't know whenever this House suit, if it ever is finally agreed upon, which sounds like it may take a little while, because it is, the thing that's holding it up is NIL enforcement. Like rules to enforce, the ability to enforce those rules is what's holding this agreement up. When this happens, there has to be a way to have full representation for the athletes that are being paid. And the odd part about this is that most campuses, if not all of them, there'll be some athletes that are paid and some that are not, depending on the sports they play. So I guess we got to divvy them up between those who are paid and those who are not paid. The other aspect of this too is, and this goes to the idea of the thing with Rowdy Tellez being DFA'd. Incentives may end up being the way to go, because you already have incentives for coaches. 6 wins, 7 wins, bowl game, bowl win, GPA, graduation percentage, although I guess that might go out the window with the transfer portal open as much as it is. In this case, incentives may be the way to go. But that also goes against the idea of maybe what this deal with Sluka is all about, which very well could be just as simple as they agreed to pay us this amount of money. They didn't pay us anything close to this amount of money, and we had to call their bluff. And with the information that his father is coming out with, that's what it seems it might be. So it's still early. It's still late in the morning, but early in the day for this story, because it all started to come out about like 11 or 12 hours ago. And I mean, he's a grad transfer, so.
Does he play again for UNLV this year? What is your initial?
Well, all right, to put yourself in a player's mindset. What about the offensive line? This kid already left you Now, what if he comes back? Because now he's getting paid what he expected.
Well, here's one thing as far as the NFL, the business side of it, nobody holds any judgment or go get your money. You got to take care of yours. I don't know in the college game, it's new to that. But if a man's getting his money, you let him get his money. My thing is he a good kid? Does he go to class? Is he a good leader? If that's the sense, well, then Barry Odom's going to bat for him, you would think. Is he somebody you want part of this team, or is he selfish, or is he a guy that kind of, I don't know. You don't know all this stuff. That's why I asked you think he plays again, because if he's the leader, one of the Barry Odom's, you try to work something out to get him back there, because it is a bye week, and he hasn't, I don't know that is his locker still there? Has he actually left the team, or is his locker still in house?
Well, for a quarterback, and people do like to point out his completion percentage of 47%, he runs really well. They are 3-0, and I don't know what Barry Odom's contract looks like, but I'm pretty much going to guarantee you, because I think just about every coach has these salary escalators or incentives, is that Sluka's success theoretically leads to this team's success then, and then that also filters down to Barry Odom's checkbook. Where nobody uses a checkbook anymore, or a pocketbook, filters into his magnetic wallet that he wraps a rubber band around to tie his money into.
It would be the Wizard, but I got you the Willard because I got it on the black market.
It's called the Bro.
It's hot.
Yeah, 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us here on Halftime. Quick break, back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
It'll be like this one time at band camp.
This is Halftime.
Over $11,000 off on remaining 2023 GMC Sierras, or up to $7,000 off on remaining GMC Yukon XLs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. These are the largest factory discounts in years, so hurry before they're gone. Plus up to $6,500 off on in-stock 2024 GMC Sierras. Conquer the road with confidence in a GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Zach from the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join us Friday, September 27th from 2 to 6 as we broadcast live overlooking the 15th green at the Choctaw Club at the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. We'll have interviews with some of the best players in the world and other special guests, and we'll do it all from the best way to enjoy the golfing weekend from the Choctaw Club overlooking the 15th green. Join us, Ruskin and Zach, live from the Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship overlooking the 15th green at the Choctaw Club, Friday, September 27th.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You keep saying you got something for me. Something you call love, but confess. You've been a messin' where you shouldn't have been a messin'. And now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Is Nancy Sinatra, previous generations, Miley Cyrus? Asking for a friend here. Not like her dad was bigger than Frank Sinatra, but he was big for a few moments there. I'd say as big as Nancy was, Miley might be a little bit bigger.
Well, social media, right?
Well, it always happens. We didn't have any of that social media stuff in the 60s. We haven't done any halftime homework in a long time here. Football season kind of took over as far as that's concerned, and I'm a little worried that our friend C-Movie or C-Burger or whatever we want to call him.
Well, on Fridays
he's not getting smarter.
He's been ditching class every Friday for the last hour, and so it kind of he's got it going on.
All of a sudden, school hours shifted, like right in the middle of the school year for him. Something must have happened. Like it's like, all right, you know what? We agree to these certain hours during the day, and you're expected to be there during the day. Just like a quarterback is expected to be there when he signs to play for a team for $100,000 for the entire 12-game schedule. Notice the bowl game is not included in that. That'll have to be incentivized. But all of a sudden the rules change a little bit, and now Burger Movie Unit is gone by the time the third hour rolls around. So maybe we can do Colton with halftime homework instead. We can pass it along to the guy that's in his place. Heck, knowing Colton, yeah, he could probably teach a little halftime homework too.
Professor 45,
P45 from C45. This is how nicknames all get started. We'll forget all of it as soon as the show's over. We'll forget all of it. Wanted to wish a happy birthday today to Tommy John surgery. UCL ligament replacement surgery was invented. Well, not invented. The first Tommy John surgery was 50 years ago today. So the trivia question here for you, Christian, who got the first Tommy John surgery?
Tommy John.
This goes along with the trivia question, who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Tommy John.
No, Grant is buried in Grant's tomb. Tommy John did get the real first surgery. Well done. You had to think about that for a moment, didn't you?
A moment, maybe.
The surgery's changed quite a bit since then. So I think a couple of the first players that got that surgery would have been Tommy John and Frank Tanana. Now, I don't think John was necessarily a flamethrower before the injury, but Tanana was. I mean, he and Nolan Ryan were like an early 1970s version of the D-backs from about 20 years ago with Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling. And then Tanana went down with the same injury, and he turned into a soft tosser, like 96 to somebody that could maybe throw about 85, 86. It's different now because the surgeries sometimes lead to, in a couple of years, guys throwing harder than they did before the surgery. That's not what was going on 50 years ago. And it does feel to me that if we're going to have a commissioner in Bud Selig who kind of did a lot of things to hurt baseball during his time in office, and he's in the Hall of Fame, I feel like Frank Jobe, the doctor who invented this surgery, should actually have a plaque in the Hall of Fame. I think that would make a lot of sense. And then, why am I forgetting the name? James Andrews. Put Dr. James Andrews up there as well. Like, these two probably have more to do with prolonging, I wouldn't even just say baseball careers, athletic careers than anybody else, Matt. And I know you had you were worked on by Dr. Andrews, right?
Well, I went and saw him. I was consulted. I had surgery, 10 years when I got done playing and everything. But yeah, it's no good. That's for sure.
But wouldn't it make sense if the players that these doctors worked on could end up in the Hall of Fame and they wouldn't have gotten there without these surgeries?
Drew Brees? No, that's a Dr. James Andrews. I mean, he wouldn't have played ever again. Yeah.
I'm going to start an organization, Doctors and Halls of Fame. I don't know if it's catchy enough. Clay Henry's with us in just a moment, speaking of Hall of Fame. 877-377-6963 if you want to text or call. Halftime, and we are back right after the top of the hour.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
As our focus moves to the grass on the field, it's time to shop WT Equipment's closeout deals on Hustler zero-turn mowers. These machines are built like tanks and drive like sports cars with fabricated welded steel decks and all the power you need and a warranty to match. Don't settle for cheap units from the big box store. Come see WT Equipment and they'll guide you to the right mower for you and your budget. Hurry, deals while supplies last and they're priced to move. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There's only a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the south. High temperatures today, mid to upper 70s. Clear skies, mid to upper 50s overnight. And then a few rain showers possible on Thursday, a high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back into halftime right after 12 o'clock on your lunch hour. Well, you can really eat lunch whenever you want to, but this is, I guess, when you used to be supposed to eat lunch. It's halftime. We roll along. Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones. Christian Johnson continues to produce. We'll have the Hall of Famer Clay Henry in just a moment here, and I got to thinking about this, Matt, with this whole conversation on Matthew Sluka. I don't think anybody in Arkansas has talked this much about UNLV football since the Vegas Bowl, and
we played him the next year,
and then open the season, right?
Yeah. Lawrence Richardson had when you talk about defensive players winning games for you, but he picked one off in the fourth quarter and ran it back to the house. Man, Lawrence Richardson was a great cornerback.
The last time I put really much thought into football for Holy Cross, which is where this quarterback Matthew Sluka had transferred out of, was when, I don't know if you remember this name, Matt, and maybe Clay does. I'm sure Clay does. Let's bring the Hall of Famer Clay Henry in here, who is a Heisman voter. Clay, were you voting in the mid to late 80s for the Heisman Trophy?
Every year since 78.
Okay, so then you remember who Gordy Lockbaum is, right?
Yeah.
The moment I heard Holy Cross, anytime I hear Holy Cross football, and it's because I was 9 and 10 years old, I think immediately to the two-way star of the Crusaders, Gordy Lockbaum, who finished 5th in Heisman voting in 86 and 3rd in 87. And I'm not sure if that's a name many people have thought of before, but maybe I've heard the term Holy Cross football 3 times in the last 30 years. Every time it happens, and it happened again this morning, I think of Gordy Lockbaum.
I think I voted for him maybe 3rd both years. I remember really struggling over what to do with him. And because
he was a two-way guy, right?
Things. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the Colorado guy in a way. Is it Travis Hunter? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with him? I mean, he is an unbelievably great player. He's going to be probably in, Matt, would you say top 10 pick?
As far as non-quarterbacks, Clay, yes. Like if you take quarterbacks out of it, I don't think there'll be 10 football players picked ahead of him.
Yeah, and so where do you put him in the Heisman Trophy? Because he makes other players, good college players, look bad. And is he the most outstanding player in college football? That's the only criteria there is for the Heisman. There's no list to choose from. It's a blank piece of paper, or I guess email. You just write 3 names with 3 schools and send it back, and it's 1, 2, 3. That's all it is there's no other rule. There's no other criteria other than the most outstanding player in college football. So it's it's for whatever you want to decide as a voter. And it doesn't say the best player on the best team. That's what it's been, Phil, of late. The UNLV quarterback, it's an incredible discussion right now. Wanted to renegotiate.
Well, but there's just so much information that's coming out that is counter to the narrative that they hired an agent and demanded more money.
Yeah, renegotiate.
There's a lot of info coming out from other sources that is counter to that idea. And in this case, even the collective said, let me see here. We've got the father said they kept deferring. We don't know what's going on. We were promised $100,000. They gave us $3,000 and nothing after that. Now the president of the collective says Nothing was ever agreed to. We paid him $3,000. We were talking about $3,000 per month when he decided to go into the transfer portal. So it's just little drip, drip, drip of information coming out here. But the whole thing is surrounded by the idea that this is where NIL has reached its peak moment, where you have a 3-0 team, you got a quarterback who transferred to play for his first ever time in FBS, and it's blowing up right in front of both of their faces. Everybody looks bad in this. The sport does too.
Oh, they do. Yeah, it's the nature of the beast. And so you guys have obviously been to Las Vegas. I mean, I don't know that it's
I've only been once.
One of you.
I don't have the hankering for Vegas. I've been there once.
I don't have the hankering either.
Yeah, so that's not my place. Now, I had to go. I've never gone there on vacation. It's always been work related, like publishers' conventions that I went to. And it didn't matter where they had them, I had to go. And Stevens Media headquarters were in Las Vegas, the old Don Ray Media headquarters, same kind of deal.
Did they own the paper out there? They own the Review Journal?
They did, and that was the moneymaker for Don Ray. And they made more on daily want ads than all the other papers. But they would make more in one day than all the other Don Ray papers, Stevens papers.
How many of those want ads were for poker coaches?
It could be for anything. Construction workers, because they built. I mean, it grew so fast. I mean, it was just an incredible place to go find a job. You could find a job in Vegas if you're willing to work. Now, it might be something shady, and that's what I'm getting at. The graft in Las Vegas is well documented. I mean, the mob probably still runs it, I'm guessing. So the fact that they've kind of come apart at the seams in this NIL deal shouldn't surprise everybody. But hey, it's the negotiations on the front end for this quarterback. Man, you'd think you'd have all that written down, locked down. It wouldn't be we said, they said. It would be you got to get it on paper, don't you?
Well, from what I'm reading here, it's like if the father says we signed for this, and the collective is saying you did not sign. It's like, well, all right. Did we just forget to dot an I or cross a T in our name? Did we sign, not right by the X and above the dotted line and all of that? Because this is where the disconnect comes from. I don't know what to believe. We got one person saying we signed for this, and the guy who would have seen the contract saying, yeah, the pen didn't work.
Always say this when you notice that these two parties have got different stories. The person that's going to make out in all this are the lawyers.
Eventually, yeah, because
they always do.
That's where it gets to eventually. That's right.
Because this is going to court. I mean, there's just two. I mean, unless UNLV suddenly just comes up with a wad of cash, and if the guy's not going to play, I don't know that they're going to come up with a wad of cash.
Yeah, they'll come up with a wad of something else and maybe spit it in his face.
That's the Vegas way.
Yeah, that could be the Vegas way. We got tickets to give away to a couple of concerts. Just figured out how to do this too. So I always wonder, do you just give them away by saying, "Hey, text fourth texter" and all of that, or do we do trivia for this sort of stuff? We can do kind of easy trivia. I earlier
think a race with Matt Jones.
Well, no one's going to win that except Matt. But I
did.
I almost
get the tickets.
I came close to fooling Christian when I asked him the trivia question of who's the first person to ever have Tommy John surgery performed on him. He did get the question correct. So I can't quite go to that level of simplicity. We have tickets to see Pam Tillis Friday and Killer Bees Saturday.
What's the last bowl eligible team Coach Pittman beat? What's the last team that's made a bowl game that this because last year we didn't beat one, but you know what? The year before we beat a couple.
There you go. 8,
well,
7,
the last one would be Kansas.
That's right.
Because they beat them in a bowl game.
Clay gets the tickets.
Clay, you get the tickets. We were going to give away tickets.
Oh,
with that answer.
was I not supposed to answer?
No. Do you want to see Pam Tillis Friday
in
Branson?
Let's do another question.
Am I sending? Are we sending Clay to Killer Bees at the Star Concert Hall on Saturday?
Had a everybody in this Fort Smith River Valley area that will know this, but Fort Smith Northside, we had a defensive back coach, and he called the D-backs as killer bees. So every time you say that, Phil, I'm thinking of the killer bees.
Every time I hear that, I'm thinking the early 90s Pirates, because they called wasn't just the outfield, but they had Bonilla, Bonds, Bell, Bream, Backman, all in the starting lineup.
Goodness.
Killer bees were the 1990 Pirates.
And the Blind Melon video.
So, all right, here's a trivia
Bee
question.
Girl. That's a song from Pearl Jam you could get with. You remember that one? They sang a song called Bee Girl, and the lyric was, Bee Girl, you're gonna die. Maybe you'd have liked that song instead. Sorry, Clay.
Okay, I've written this maybe more than once. Trivia question. What did Keith Burns, he was a secondary coach and defensive coordinator in 98, 99. What did he call the defensive backs? Now, he had a name for all the positions.
You know something, Clay? Something that I've noticed with this football team, and we can kind of get and something that was to his defense is A gap, B gap pressure. Do we struggle? Are we good enough on this offensive line with A gap, B gap pressure?
It looks to me like they can handle themselves at the point of attack. Like if they know that's where the ball's going, that they can do that. Yeah, it's when they have to pass protect, like run blocking, they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you send two guys through the same gap, and that's what some defensive coordinators are going to do, they're going to lock everybody up, and then they're going to bring another guy in the gap that you don't have a man for. Well, then there's not any question who's got to get that guy. It's the running back. He's got to step up in that hole and get if they send two guys through a gap and they've already made you cover all five of the offensive line, well, then it's the running back, or it's a quick pass.
Or it's Taylor Green making a miss.
Yeah, but I've seen quarterbacks take it right in the face, and they say, well, there was too many. I had to get rid of it. I mean, I knew where I was going, and it's get the snap and get rid of it because there's too many. And you do that sometimes, even or you check out of the play. You run a sweep or something.
I asked because Coach Burns feel like his A gap, B gap pressure, because that's the quickest way, that's the closest way to the quarterback.
Straight line.
And as an offense, kind of football 101, you start protection from the inside out. It's just kind of
it's numbering.
Yeah, and then it's how you're going to shift it. Are you going to zone block it? Are you going to man block it? Who's getting who? And you want to get it matched up where if it's a running back, you don't want him necessarily trying to block a defensive end 1-on-1. You want him matched up with a linebacker or a safety where you have your bigs on your bigs. So kind of almost like a weight distribution.
Yeah, I mean, you see the first thing that happens is, the quarterback or the center, usually the center, is going to call out the mic, the mic, and then everything goes from there. And then just for the snap, if they've stemmed, you'll see a guard or a center point at another guy, and that's gives them the perspective of who, if that's who he's got, well, then everybody else has got the next guy. So it is interesting to watch in the pressures and what's been happening with this offensive line. It isn't that they're not big enough and strong enough and mean enough. They've got all that. It's a learning process. Just remember this. They're in a new offense. They've got a new offensive line coach. They've got a new play caller, new system, and all of them were somewhere else last year. I mean, they were. I mean, it's like, well, I guess Joshua Braun is playing the same position again. But everybody else, they were somewhere else last year.
Well, I guess except Marion Harris, but he was on the bench. He wasn't out there at all.
Was somewhere else, and he was not playing left guard, that's for sure.
Taylor Green finished his presser yesterday by shouting out that offensive line.
I just want to say I want to shout out my old line because it was really hot. It was super hot in Auburn, and how they finished the game with the runs. A lot of people, would call timeout and stuff, but they finished, and shout out to the tight ends because they finished too, and the running backs and the receivers because all 11. 111.
He's got a Marion back there with him too, but there's just a little disconnect for some people with how good they've been in run blocking, and they really do seem to be connected there, not just with each other, but also with the running backs, specifically Jaquindon Jackson. But in pass blocking, still communication issues, filling your gap like you're talking about, Matt, and a little issue with the 5-on-5, but it does feel like it's fixable because it's not like they're just being overpowered.
It looks to me, and I've watched Bobby Petrino run offense for a long time. I mean, I've always been fascinated with what he can do. and he has got the running backs, and they are coached. They will show you one gap and then quickly jump a gap and hit the weak side, the back side, and it is almost impossible. That's where that backside where there's the flow going the wrong way, and all once the back's through and gone. And they did that in that last drive. I mean, it wasn't just power. They hit some weak side. They're almost like counter plays. In other words, they show you that they're going to one gap and then boom, they're to the next one. And what they did is they just set the blocker up. And it's there's some games being played in there, and that's next level stuff. And that's what Bobby does. And when Sam hired him, really beforehand, he said, I'm looking for an offensive coordinator that can run the ball, that knows how to run the ball. That doesn't mean that's all they do, but they know how to run the ball. Well, Bobby fits that to a T, and you see it now.
Let's get on the horn before the break. A call from the Tuna. Charlie, how you doing today, man? Good thing we've agreed upon a certain amount of money for every phone call because you keep calling in, and I guess we're not paying you a cent. How you doing, Charlie?
Well, I mean, that's cool, Phil, but I've always said, just let me pay you guys, and I'll just stay on for a whole 15 minutes.
Well, you do pay us with every phone call and every minute that you take up over the air. That's minutes that we're not speaking and still being paid for.
Well, I always like you guys' feedback, though, and I will say this about the NIL thing with, if Clay, you said something there. You were not surprised that it's finally gotten to this point. I always believe that sometimes we get to a point with some things just need to happen. And to me, that is something that needed to happen. I hate it's happening to UNLV, or I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad it's not us. I know we've had our NIL issues, but man, this whole thing though, Phil, that they are talking about doing, that hopefully evens some of this out. I wanted to ask you guys on that. How much do you think, that will help everyone? And are we ever going to get to a point where it's just going to be like, you know what, it's even? Because I don't know if we ever will, just with how everything is. I think it's going to be tough to do that. Also, Clay, I was going to ask you, you're right on the old line. I don't think they're physically getting beat that much. It's just, it looks like at times they're just missing guys that they should pick up coming through gaps. And especially on the right side. For whatever reason, Blackstock and Braun, for whatever reason, the communication's been seemed a little bit more off on that side from what I've seen. But I think they'll figure it out. They can't have the situation on the 4th and 1 the other day where, was it Jacksonville? He just flat out whiffed on that block. That can't happen because they had Haz running right down the seam wide open from what I heard. So those are things that are fixable. They're not getting whipped. Also is the road part of that, because I think it's really hard to communicate on the road. And I'm not making excuses, but hopefully get some home games here soon. I know they're coming. Lord have mercy. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Only 2 of the next 7 will be away from Razorback Stadium, so they'll at least have the noise on their side when it comes to it. As far as like everybody playing with the same rules and from the same amount of money, I don't think you're ever going to get there in college sports.
No, they're not doing the NIL will stay. This is
exactly
the NIL will be above and beyond, which doesn't change there's nothing equal about that.
That's the thing that's what's holding up this agreement. That's what's holding up the plea deal is enforcement of NIL. That is exactly the thing that's holding it up. That's why the judge hasn't approved it yet. It's enforcement of NIL. She's not allowing it because it's an illegal restriction of people's earnings. So I don't think you're ever going to get there. And even in pro sports, you're at a place where you got a salary cap. Not everybody necessarily reaches to that salary cap. Even in baseball with a luxury tax, some teams look at that luxury tax and be like, I don't care. I got $8 billion. It really doesn't matter to me very much. And other owners that are worrying about a $200,000 incentive for a first baseman. So, I mean, even in places where there's agreed upon, structures, you're still dealing with, in some cases, haves and have-nots, or it's more mindset. With college sports, it just feels like even when there's revenue share and players are paid directly by athletic departments, NIL will still be the separator, and it doesn't feel like that's going away.
Don't think so. And there was always some hope that Congress would get involved, which that's a dangerous. That could happen. That could be good. That could be bad. There would be some kind of agreement, almost like an antitrust deal that, so you could say, well, this is, the law is this, but this is how we're going to do it. And if Congress is okay with that, then they can pass a law. It doesn't look like they want to do that. I mean, there's not been any movement there. And I think that's what we're looking at is more of bad stuff, in my opinion.
877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. We get some tickets for Pantillis and Killer Bees to give away during the next segment, so stay with halftime. We're back right after this.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
This is halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Over 11,000 off on remaining 2023 GMC Sierras, or up to 7,000 off on remaining GMC Yukon XLs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. These are the largest factory discounts in years, so hurry before they're gone. Plus up to 6,500 off on in-stock 2024 GMC Sierras. Conquer the road with confidence in a GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
At the toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality, price, and comfort you like, the savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco.
For hard work and the great outdoors.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Come celebrate autumn in the natural state with Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Crabtree RV Center is having their big fall sale October 10th through the 13th. There will be special pricing and door prizes along with our experienced, knowledgeable staff to help you pick the perfect RV for your family. Come see why we've been voted the best of the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas. So mark your calendars for October 10th through the 13th and don't miss out on the big fall sale. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
give up on time, like you said you would. There are tiny cracks of light underneath me, and you say I got it wrong. But I try hard to uncover them. I have somehow got away with everything. Anything you ever did was strictly by design, but you got it wrong. And I go anywhere but there. And you have this belief that you're gonna feel what I don't need. And I know I need to feel relief. And I know you'll
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
This is a band I hadn't heard before too, Matt, and our theme are female singers. Who's that?
It's a Scottish band. They one of my favorite drinks is from Scotland, and the Churches. And well, it's just Churches, no the, but the U is spelled with a V. So they're
well, that's an old-fashioned U.
Yeah, they're tricky.
Or try to say you can't even say it if you try to pronounce it with a V. So I was looking back. Anytime I think of Holy Cross football, and this UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka started his career at Holy Cross, where, by the way, he was the Patriot League Player of the Year last season.
He's got talent. Yeah, he's got talent.
Gordy Lockbaum, who finished 5th in the 86 Heisman voting and 3rd in the 87 Heisman voting. In 87, listen to some of the players Lockbaum was voted ahead of. Lorenzo White, Michigan State. Chris Spielman at Ohio State. They actually had a linebacker in the top 10. He finished ahead of Thurman Thomas and Emmitt Smith in the Heisman voting, too. 2 Hall of Famers. But my trivia question, because I've got tickets. We have 8 pairs of tickets to see Pam Tillis on Friday and Killer Bees on Saturday. For those who are not aware, Killer Bees is a comedian who apparently we're going to have on the show on Friday. We will refer to him only as Mr. Bees on the show. They'll be at the Star Concert Hall in Branson. Pam Tillis on Friday, Mr. Bees on Saturday. And in order to win the tickets, you got to get these ones right. Now we're giving away 2 pairs, and the questions are: who won the 86 Heisman ahead of Gordy Lockbaum, and who won the 87 Heisman ahead of Gordy Lockbaum? 877-377-6963. We'll do this over text. We can do it over phone calls too. But if you do call up, try to talk a little football with us as well, because we're getting set for Arkansas versus Texas A&M. Again, the questions, and you got to be able to go to the show or know that you can give the tickets away to people. Pam Tillis Friday, Killer Bees Saturday, Star Concert Hall, Branson. Who was the 87 Heisman Trophy winner? Who was the 86 Heisman Trophy winner? 877-377-6963. Of course, Clay Henry voted for all of them in that case. You are not, and Clay, don't tell them who won these ones too, because you probably got that stuck in the back of your mind.
They just looked it up on their phone.
That's all it is. That's all trivia is anyway these days.
Yeah. Well, no, you can do some complex stuff that it won't show up on the phone. I mean, it just I've got some tricks on that kind of stuff, but it's I actually did a trivia thing for Hogs Plus. I'm not sure they ever ran it. I need to get that back. Well, I guess I have it in my laptop, but I need to make sure they know that I'm going to use it somewhere else. And it's all Razorback trivia. And, one of my favorite things is nicknames, Razorback nicknames. Some of them are obscure. Some of them, weren't used, in public or whatever. It was just kind of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, Dwight Stewart was Dog. I mean, that's what his teammates called him.
Lawrence Richardson, a guy we just brought up, his in the earlier segment, his nickname was Gross. How
Gross.
cool! How cool! But yeah, it's Gross. How cool is that?
Was that because of earnings, or was there just things he would do that nobody wanted to see?
Yeah, he was just sick on the football field. He was gross.
Oh, he's gross. Yeah, that was just yeah. Well, but there were some really cool nicknames that people didn't hear. But there were some that like Arlen Bowers, He's a basketball player, but they call him Tank. Well, he's like 5'8", 195. Well, he looked like a tank.
Matt, you
Robert Tractor Trailer,
that one.
Michigan guy. Yeah.
Well, how about one that Lockbaum finished ahead of in the '87 Heisman Trophy balloting? Remember Craig Hayward's nickname? Pit running back?
Yeah.
Ironhead. Might not be a better nickname for football. And his son is Cam, who's the defensive tackle for the Steelers and a probable Hall of Famer too. But he doesn't have a nickname like that. Ironhead had, I think his hat size was higher than 8.
One of my favorite nicknames from that era was a Clemson player. His last name was Perry. Do you remember his nickname?
Refrigerator.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you got
Refrigerator
it. See,
Perry. You remember his brother?
You.
Remember his brother played for Clemson too. I think his nickname was the Freezer.
Yeah, he was the Freezer.
Honestly, I really do think it was the Freezer. When you're a younger brother of somebody that's a star, you're always going to get the secondary nickname. You're always going to get the crappier nickname. I'd much rather be a refrigerator than a freezer. It's too darn cold. We have a winner, by the way, for our tickets. It's out of the 417. Don't have the gentleman or the lady's name yet, so text it in, please, and let us know. We're going to need your email address as well. I mean, it is an easy question because I want to make sure we got winners here, and we can't wait until the very end of the show.
Got to move those tickets along.
We got to move these tickets, man. We got tickets to move. Vinny Testaverde was the 86 Heisman Trophy winner. Jim Harbaugh finished 3rd in the voting that year. Brian Bosworth 4th, and Gordy Lockbaum 5th. And the winner in 87, one and only Tim Brown from Notre Dame. Is that the last Heisman winner from Notre Dame, Tim Brown?
Monte Teo got 2nd, I think, to Manziel. Did Rocket Ishmael, did he get close?
I think he won it, yeah.
He won it, so yeah. Rick Meyer or Joe Montana, neither one of them won the Heisman there. So, yeah, I don't think they've won one since the 80s, Phil.
Well, there you go. Tim Brown and Vinny Testaverde were the winners in 86 and 87. Reversed, though. And Steven is our winner, so congratulations. He'll be going to see Pam Tillis on Friday and Killer Bees on Saturday at Star Concert Hall in Branson. Also want to remind you about WT Equipment's closeout deals on Hustler zero-turn mowers. Machines that are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. Fabricated welded steel decks and all the power you need, plus a warranty to match. You don't have to settle for cheap units from the big box store. WT Equipment has the right mower for you and your budget. Deals are going on right now, but they will only last as long as the supplies last, and they're priced to move. So get over to WT Equipment right now, your partner in progress. And stick with Halftime. We're back right after this.
His mama named Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Halftime.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles. 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Hanging out at one of my favorite places, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. Grant Neal is here, and Grant, I wanted to tell you, I'm not sure if you know or not, but my wife brought her vehicle in, her SUV, for service the other day, and she gets a video, and they're going over her brake pads, her tire depth, her air filter, all this stuff. As she gets the video, gets to see exactly what they're doing with the vehicle. It's great.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's something that we've been working on. We want to deliver a personalized experience to our guests when they come in for service, and one of the things we're doing is showing these video inspections. It's a transparency effort, it's for honesty, and it's to be able to show you your vehicle and really get to see, like, wow, that is my car up there, and allow the experts to go over it with you. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. We're proud of that.
You've got tires, too.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves at being a big tire retailer. We work with a local tire retailer and the GM Tire Network to make sure that we have all the best brands at any price point for all the vehicles that we have.
Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Lane Kiffin is pretty good at this back and forth stuff with other coaches on the SEC teleconference this morning. I guess Hugh Freeze complimented Ole Miss's NIL collective, and then Kiffin goes on to say, quote, "That's nice of him. Next, he'll try and steal Walker Jones like he's tried to taking all our coaches," unquote. He does well. He does well with that stuff. And you saw him talking about how they handled Matt Corral after his 6-interception game, and that was against Arkansas, right? That they sat him down and said, everything's going to be okay. This is still your team, and they put him back out there, and things seemed to work out pretty well for him the next year. And he never said Hugh Freeze's name, but you knew exactly what this message was about, Matt.
Well, and you're talking about players that are underperforming or just absolutely Amber Heard in the bed, and I think of Broden right now. What would be your proper action? You know, do you sit him out a game? Because you don't want him to lose his confidence, because obviously he has talent. But we got to get him going. If this team, I think this team's good enough to win 6 games, but if if we want to win 7, we want to win 8, Broden's got to step up or he's got to step to the side.
2 games in a row, Clay hasn't caught a ball. I think he is 4 catches in the last, I think it's 17 passes towards him. And it isn't all overthrows and underthrows. So I really do wonder how much we see Broden this Saturday.
Well, it depends on who you got. I mean, is the next guy pretty good? If he is, move on. I mean, I think that you can come back to him at another point, but you can't keep having big plays, disappear because he doesn't make them. Give somebody else a chance. I mean, that's a playmaking position, and if he's not getting it done, I haven't really studied it that much. I don't know whether he's an asset, in other areas. I mean, he's a big physical guy. Is he blocking well? Is he doing some things on the edge that have helped him? So I can't judge whether it's, how much you're going to miss him. Is the next guy, is he able to handle that role? I mean, he is a good looking thing. I mean,
he's got talent. Yeah.
There's not, I mean, he can run and he's got the size, but you got to catch it. I mean,
and Green's looking for him too, and how can't you? He's huge at 6'7".
He's getting open. Yeah.
I mean, Green is 6'7" himself. They're at the same level. So, I mean, how can't you be looking for him? I mean, he's getting more targets than Satania.
He must be making plays in practice, or he did it in camp, because they wouldn't he wouldn't have gotten on the field if he hadn't been doing that. So there's, I guess, with the coach, I'm talking about with Petrino, there's hope.
Yeah,
he knows what he can do.
How do you handle him? Because you don't want him to be totally gone because he is a talent. You just want him to come back and perform up to what he's capable of, which I think he can be our number 2 receiver, but he just hasn't shown it yet this year. Well, I was going to say I'm kind of like with Clay. Maybe he balls out in practice and just can't take it to the game, but I don't know.
Well, you remember what Alyssa told us yesterday, and she said she was on the sidelines in the waning moments of this past Saturday, and
3 players didn't have a smile on their face.
Yeah, and he had his helmet on, and he just wasn't moving. And I do wonder about, mindset, and that would be independent of how you practice, and also independent of how you're blocking, because you see yourself as a wide receiver, and the second aspect of that is receiving. And you take pride in catching what comes to you.
Frustration.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't have been at Arkansas if he had trouble, like tons of drops, at Bowling Green, which I think is where he played earlier. So maybe part of this is just a matter of being in his own mind right now, and it's kind of tough to get out of your own mind if you're not playing.
Takes one. I thought he had one against Auburn. It was kind of a jump ball, and it kind of hits him in the chest and goes down because there's a little contact. And there's something to be said about that in practice. You're not going to get hit. You go up a little different. In the game, when the live bullets, then you're kind of looking somewhere else or doing so. I think maybe that might have a little bit. But it takes one. You catch a slant, catch a go, catch something and break a tackle and make a play, and it's all forgotten, and let's move forward.
See, and I do wonder, who's the next one up? Because you've already seen, I don't know if there is a defined number 2 running back because they're going with both Russell and with Hill. But I don't know who the number 2 receiver is right now. And I don't know who'd be the next man up if they're, have Broden sit a little bit more. Is Tesla in the game a little bit more?
That's kind of what I thought, and that's what I was thinking as you were laying that out. They've coached him to play all the positions, so he can move around. He's got a lot of work as the second slot, but you could put him out there, and he is a good blocker, a big physical guy. He doesn't seem to drop him. I mean, he's going to catch. He may not get open as well. I mean, he doesn't have the speed, the athletic ability, and that huge frame. He's got a good frame, but he's got great strong hands and seems to gobble up the ball. I keep waiting to see C.J. Brown again. But he dropped one against UAB, and young ones don't have as long of a leash, do they?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I've been wondering, and Eric sent in a text about this. When does Monte Harrison get a chance? I mean, he's played well on special teams. He was the one who fielded the onside kick by UAB. He's got the body type. He's got the athleticism.
I would
just
think
not the experience playing the position.
And I think he would be an absolute dog when it came to run blocking. I just think you put him in the slot, go 11 heavy, whatever personnel you want to call it, but just being an absolute dog on a mismatch, and being able to always get his block in the run game.
Yeah, I know he wants to be a wide receiver.
Tight end, though, or H-back, yeah.
Man,
that's what I see too, Clay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when are they going to say we got 15 of these guys, talking about receivers, wideouts, and we got 2 or 3 of these tight end guys, and none of them are as tough or as physical or have that dog in them like you do. And this is your ticket, man. And Trey Knox, finally accepted that. Sometimes it takes them going to the coach saying, I can play right here. I can get on the field right here. A.J. Derby, the same thing. So he's 230. He doesn't need but a pound or two more, maybe not even any more, to do some things, an inline tight end.
I've usually thought like it'd be basketball players that go in to play tight end. But I remember there was a traveler who played tight end at Texas A&M, and then eventually went on to a pro baseball career. Never made it to the big leagues. But it was amazing to think about that he played big-time college football. That would have been 23, 24 years ago.
R.C. Slocum years, maybe?
Where he was afraid of contact when it came to baseball. It was amazing to see. Like this was back when you could plow into a catcher, and there was a couple moments for him to have a chance to do that and score a run. He wouldn't do it. And he was a little afraid of the ball, too, and it was hit at him at third base. So I didn't expect that kind of
Well, maybe he
wariness.
just needed to play baseball with gear on.
That's right. he needed
to get braver with that helmet on.
He needed all kinds of pads.
Yeah, with those shoulder pads on. Yeah, so
he had great hands when it came to being a tight end, but then they never had a position for him to play. I think I described him once in right field as it looked like a giraffe that was trying to chase a mosquito. Really wasn't very pretty.
Would you say he was soft?
Very. Quite soft.
Like
his
when
NIL
you look up
Charmin.
Yeah, well, when you look up soft in the dictionary, there's his picture.
Yeah, and it wasn't the strong Charmin. It was the blue Charmin, not the red one. 877-377-6963. We got to take a quick break. Want to remind you first about what's going on at Joe's Grilling Cantina when it comes to football season. Saturdays, big days, game day appetizers, brand new ones. You can build your own nachos with Southwest Chipotle and jalapeno peppers, or build your own guacamole at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Best place to watch Arkansas football. There's pitcher specials on select beers and margaritas, $2 Busch Light drafts. That's Joe's, the place to watch football on game day. 74th Street in Fort Smith, right across from Harps, joesfortsmith.com. And back to wrap up hour number 2 of halftime in just a moment.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Or NWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Isolation that you miss you speech strangers to secretly and strong.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
This trip to Henderson will walk it over to first, and history will have to wait because the Sox with a comeback in the 8th inning, they get the 3-2 win and win the opener of this 3-game series.
Sox actually did pull off a win yesterday. That would be their 37th victory out of 157 games, 5 left to set the record. And so hopefully go after it again today. And I continue to be more interested in the worst teams than the best teams. We'll wait for the playoffs to really get interested in the best teams. Oakland also continues to, they started their final homestand ever at the Coliseum yesterday. Over 30,000 saw the A's walk off against the Rangers. There have been only, I think it's been 5 games at the Oakland Coliseum where there have been over 30,000 fans. And it's always the opposing team's fans that are there. Yankees, Dodgers, Giants have been the teams coming in when there have been 30,000 or more. Everybody goes to see the Yankees. It's not that far from L.A., and San Francisco is right across the bay. So they've been telling Rangers players have been told that once the last game at Oakland Coliseum is over, which is tomorrow, to get off the field as quickly as they possibly can. And the A's player has been told the exact same thing because it is expected to be an absolute free-for-all. Once tomorrow's game is over, the fans are going to tear that place apart. They'll rip up every piece of grass they possibly can. Somebody's going to take bolt cutters to the seats, and try to find a way to get those away. If you ever look at scenes from like when the Mets won the '69 series or the last games at Forbes Field, places like that, it's always a madhouse. It's actually going to be more entertaining than any baseball game of the year. 40,000 crazy, pissed off A's fans going nuts in their stadium tomorrow, appointment viewing.
I would say that a good portion of those they're not A's fans. They're just there because they have a little dark side in them. Like, we get to go do this.
You like the entire Raider fan base then, right?
No question. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a video. It's hilarious. A guy at the A's game yesterday was sitting in the first level on the third base side, caught a foul ball, realized the cameras are on him, and knowing the cameras are on him, what did he do? He didn't raise the ball for everybody to see. He didn't rip his shirt off. He turned back to John Fisher's suite and flipped the bird to him on camera.
It's like, I know you're watching. And if you're not watching, somebody's going to tell you.
Sometimes we get 15 minutes of fame. Sometimes you got to do best with 15 seconds. And that gentleman was absolutely on point. We move into our third hour of halftime. And we got an open phone for you, 877-377-6963. Check the headlines, preview Arkansas, Texas A&M right after this.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
As our focus moves to the grass on the field, it's time to shop WT Equipment's closeout deals on Hustler zero-turn mowers. These machines are built like tanks and drive like sports cars with fabricated welded steel decks and all the power you need and a warranty to match. Don't settle for cheap units from the big box store. Come see WT Equipment and they'll guide you to the right mower for you and your budget. Hurry, deals while supplies last and they're priced to move. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Check out the new Wacker Newson ST45 at Sharp Equipment. It's bigger, bolder, and is ideal for lifting and loading. The vertical path lift arm allows for easy load placement in demanding applications where reach and height is a requirement. For compact, heavy equipment with a great deal of power, visit them and check out the new Wacker Newson lineup at Sharp Equipment. 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Or call them at 479-242-1406.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. There's only a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the south. High temperatures today, mid to upper 70s. Clear skies, mid to upper 50s overnight. And then a few rain showers possible on Thursday, a high in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Streaming on hitthatline.com.
You gotta take it here. That's the perspective.
If I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime into our third hour. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Colton Little producing, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us for this last hour of Halftime. Wide open for you when you want to get on with us at 877-377-6963 on National Daughters Day. And Clay, you and I've got, we've got daughters we can laud and hold up in front of everybody as shining examples of intelligence and loveliness. My daughter, I brought up Sadie yesterday. Told her that I was talking about her on the show. She wanted to know everything I was saying, that she is an absolute crazed football fan. Can't get enough of it right now, and that will include every Arkansas game on Saturday and just about every NFL game she can get her mind on, to the point where I was telling Matt about this earlier. I'm so proud of her. She has a science project. She's a sophomore in high school. Her choice of project for science is Deflategate scandal. She is trying to find out why a quarterback would want a slightly deflated football. And I thought, well, I don't know if I can help you with that, but I got somebody who's got an idea here too. So this is she likes the sport more than I like the sport, Matt. It would be impossible for her to like baseball more than me, but as far as football, I think she's there.
That's pretty cool. I'll be into a fantasy football league next year if you guys want to do one. And the simplest way to put it, I mean, we can go in more in depth if you want to, but it's Janet Jackson control. If you deflate the football, you have more control. You can control it easier.
The Janet Jackson song, not the Prince song.
Well, we're sticking with the female vibe today. Yeah.
That all works. So that's
it was fun. You introduced me to. I guess this was the second. I think it was at a baseball game. She was in the broadcast booth.
No, she was with me. It was the UAPB game, right?
No, that was the second time. Is
Okay.
what I'm getting at. We had met one other time, and she was a lot younger. But anyway, you introduced me. And you were just beaming. I mean, you could see the pride, and I wanted to make sure that she knew that when we talked, you and I did, that you were always so, it's like, not everybody wants to hear us brag about our kids, but it's okay if you do it. And I wanted her to know that you bragged about her a lot. So.
Well, I have to remember also, because you got to be even with your kids here. Whenever National Sons Day is, I'm going to have to do the same thing with my son. And yesterday, got his first ever RBI base hit in Little League.
I think
I was sitting there on the first base stands, and it was really close down the first base line. It was almost like I was calling the game when I saw the ball went inside the base and shouted, "Fair ball! Fair ball!" And I got up out of my seat and I started screaming and cheering, and the look on the kid's face was just priceless. But I shouldn't get into that too much because it's National Daughters Day, not National Sons Day.
That's all right. You can just set the stage for National Sons Day.
I don't even know when that is. Wide open segment here at 877-377-6963. We had Andy in Bentonville on hold, so let's go to the phones. Andy, thanks for calling Halftime. What's going on?
Hey, gentlemen, it's funny you talk about that Oakland Alameda County Stadium. I was there as a child, probably, 72 or 73, against the Texas Rangers. And I had to look this up later, though, but I think Billy Martin was the coach of the Rangers at the time. But that particular night, I went as a child, Vida Blue pitched, Reggie Jackson hit a home run, so that's, right up there in my wheelhouse to see some as a child. Didn't know Reggie Jackson and Vida Blue were. Reggie was already a superstar anyway.
That's awesome. 72 would have been the first of their 3 consecutive world championships. I mean, they were one of the great dynasties.
Sal Bando, Joe Rudy, Gene Tennis. I can remember, they were pretty good, all-stars everywhere on that team. But anyway, I thought, what do you think this week in Alabama and Georgia? I'm going to get off the phone here and listen to y'all. Have a great day.
All right, I'm going to set you guys up here. Alabama, Georgia. Matt, what do you have on that game first?
Well, I think the winner should be the number 1 overall. Each week, Phil, we kind of gone back, and I'm like, hey, man, this was the biggest win of the week. I think either one of these teams that win it, and I know the rankings don't matter as much, but we have heard that it loses a little meaning, but you're playing for a bye week. Top 4 could get a bye week. They might have a rematch in the SEC championship game. I'm going to go the home team. I'm going to take if they were playing in Georgia, in Athens, between the hedges, I would go Georgia Bulldogs. But since they're in Tuscaloosa, I'm going to go Alabama.
This is a huge, huge game for the new Alabama coach, and so far he has, he's kind of got in the honeymoon stage. But if they lose to Georgia,
they haven't lost yet, have they?
No, they haven't. And if they lose to Georgia, or whenever they lose, that's when the honeymoon will be over, and you'll feel the Alabama faithful, the wrath of, well, he's not as good as our 2 great ones, Brian and Saban, and that's what they'll say. And unfortunately, that's the way it is there. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and that's why I will say I expect Georgia to win.
I think I really like Jalen Milroe. I do think that I think he's going to make. I think there's going to be some plays made with his legs in this game that are going to be a difference. I'd go with Alabama here, and I want you would try to rank in terms of importance for one team or the other. But looking at their schedules, and Matt, you're talking about the idea of trying to. These teams are playing for a bye. They're really playing to make it to Atlanta because only the top 2 teams, and now we've got our set of tiebreakers and everything. But where do the losses come for these teams? Georgia has Alabama, Tennessee, and Texas on the schedule. They've got potentially, heck, they got Ole Miss too. They've got potentially the toughest schedule out there. Heck, these are teams Arkansas is playing as well, but they don't get Alabama. Bama doesn't have Texas.
Tennessee, Missouri.
They do get Tennessee, of course, but it feels to me like there's more potential losses out there for Georgia just based on their opponents than there is for Alabama. Alabama, I don't know if they they do travel to Knoxville, so that's definitely a game that's losable. But one thing's for certain is you lose this game, it doesn't mean you're eliminated from playoff contention. I mean, it's a good thing for both teams, but maybe not necessarily for this specific game itself, because it doesn't mean quite as what it used to mean, I guess.
Wouldn't you know it, Arkansas is would draw the short stick in the schedule. It's like, this is the year Alabama doesn't have Nick Saban, and you don't get to play him.
And you don't get him next year either.
No, you don't.
Get the exact same teams.
Well, you could play him in Atlanta. That should be the goal.
Sure. Okay. That's a possibility then. And we still have some texters that I still don't know if you're being honest about this or not, that are still predicting an 11-1 record and a trip to Atlanta, and then see what happens after that. There have been a couple of them that have sent that in over the last even 48 hours.
The thing that let's turn the page and talk about Arkansas football a little bit, Phil. And the thing that I look at is, for Arkansas, what is their schedule? and what is it going to be like, and what is the potential for this team. I don't think we've seen them play their best football, and they may not be a up and away team, but they've got some talent that they haven't had, and they've got some aspects of chemistry that I think are important. I like their coordinators. I like the staff. It can get interesting if they win this week, because then you got a really big game next week.
Man, this is such a big game. You're right, Clay. And the thing,
but this one's the big one. Yeah.
The thing about A&M is they're going to be better in every area than Auburn. Like you just said, where is our best game? We haven't played all 4 quarters. We go out to Arlington and play A&M and have 3 turnovers. We're going to get beat by 17 points. We got to play it clean. And Phil and I brought this up yesterday. We played a pretty clean game as far as penalties against Auburn. And you got to continue that, but got to limit the turnovers. Man, it's the sudden change. Twice we got a turnover in our very first offensive play. We turned the ball back. We can't have that.
Well, partially this is also a question as to, 5 turnovers created by the Arkansas defense, yet Auburn, Hugh Freeze is acting like it was just Auburn handing the ball over on a silver platter. They do have that reputation this year for very good reason. They're in double-digit turnovers. A&M is not like that. They've only turned it over twice. So you will kind of find out if this can continue to be a playmaking defense that we didn't necessarily see over the first 3 weeks, but we did last week. And in order to, if you're going to beat Tennessee, if you're going to beat Ole Miss or Texas or any of them, you're going to create turnovers in those games. They're going to have to do this Saturday too.
But when I look at Texas A&M, they don't have that wonder kind, quarterback. They don't have that guy that just is, going to put them on their. I mean, will he make some plays? Probably either one of them. I'm not sure which one. I heard someone talk to that. Maybe it was Ty and Tommy earlier. And usually what they say is forgettable, and so I'm forgetting which one said what. But which quarterback would you rather play? I don't think it would matter. What I hope is that you play them both, which suggests that neither one of them played well, just like last week. When you're rolling quarterbacks in and out, bad stuff's going to happen. It just is.
Let's roll in Bobby and Bull Shoals, who's called us here at 877-377-6963. Good afternoon, Bobby. What's going on?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Great. Thank you.
Hey, I just want to say it's very nice to meet all you guys at Allen's Groceries, and y'all do a great job on your show.
We had a great time at Allen's last week. That was so much fun. And apparently, are you getting some brisket, Clay?
Yeah, Tony is texted me, said he's ordered me a brisket, and I'm sure it's going to be a nice one. I get to pick it up tomorrow. Probably won't get there till Friday. I'm supposed to fish tomorrow. When I get a chance to fish with my son-in-law, all bets are off. Everything holds still. But it was in Bobby, didn't you come to the fly shop the next day or pretty soon?
I sure did. I come up there and seen Jim. Yep, I sure did. Yep. Guys, actually, I was calling you always talking about nicknames. Well, actually, I got a story. Paul Hills was interviewing Coach Richardson before one of the ball games, and actually he asked Coach if he's going to play Matt Jones, and he said the Golden Boy. He said, why you call him the Golden Boy, Coach? He said, because everything he touches turns to gold. And then he said, hell yeah, we're going to play him because this place goes crazy.
Some people might call it the Midas touch. Bobby, I've heard that referred to as the Midas touch before.
Actually, it's every time you always talk about nicknames, I always holler, he's got a nickname, it's the Golden Boy.
Golden Boy, Midas touch, or you could just beat the Meat Messiah, which was a nickname we heard last week from the gentleman who owns the place and runs the place, and he didn't even seem to really like that nickname. But if I was a butcher, I'd say Meat Messiah would be on my list of acceptable nicknames. Yes.
And also, too, Phil, I was going to let you know I was going to get a pen for you to sign that hat because that Little Rock hat's got your initials all over it, and I'm going to find the pen to get you to sign that.
I remember you now, Bobby. That's right. It's kind of difficult. Colored Sharpies don't work on black hats unless they're silver or white. I did try with a couple of them.
That's the only one I didn't have.
I don't think it showed very well.
No, it didn't, Phil, but I'm dang sure when it gets done. And thank you, Matt, for signing the Hall of Fame hat. And Clay, thank you for signing the hats for me.
You're welcome. We're
You
glad
got
to
it.
do it. We're glad to see you. That was a good visit we had.
Bobby,
It
appreciate
sure
your phone
was,
call.
and I just want to thank you guys, and y'all have a great day.
877-377-6963 when you want to get with us. And don't forget about the big fall sale going on at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, October 10th through the 13th. Special deals on RVs and trailers, door prizes. The knowledgeable staff going to be on hand to help you pick the perfect RV or trailer for your family's adventures. That's Crabtree RV Center's fall sale, October 10th through the 13th. More information online at crabtreerv.com. We'll be back with more halftime right after this break.
They were so convincing in their argument. They swung me.
This is halftime.
On second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards. And the Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's a stunning way to go somewhere new in the 2024 Buick Encore GX from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on the Buick Encore GX. The Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% on the 2024 Buick Encore GX. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Ty Richardson for the #1 liquor store in the River Valley, Eastside Liquor. It's football season and the Hogs are back, baby. Plus your favorite NFL team. If you need beers for the boys, seltzers for the ladies, or brown water for the big-time wins, Dave and his entire team at Eastside Liquor can take care of you today. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Convenient drive-through and always have what you're looking for. Plus a new bigger and better location is on the way. The game's always better after stopping by Eastside.
Every morning in hardworking America, Hardee's biscuit makers rise to bake you Hardee's original made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits. Famous since 1977 and still bake fresh every 15 minutes. It's not the easy way, but it's the only way to make Hardee's breakfast so good. Like our mix-and-match handcrafted breakfast biscuits. Select items now 2 for $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Got drunk and fell asleep atop the sheets, but luckily I left the heater on. And in my dreams I wrote the best song that I've ever written. Can't remember how it goes. I stayed drunk and fell awake, and I was cycling on a plane, and far away I heard you say you liked me. We drifted to a party cool. The people went to arty school. They made their paints by mixing acid wash and lemonade.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Taylon Green and Amarion Harris were side by side yesterday in the evening to speak with Arkansas reporters via Zoom. Anytime you play at AT&T Stadium, you know you're going to get questions about, especially if you're from Texas, with Green is, if you've ever been inside the stadium before.
I actually played there in high school. I played against JJ. You know, he won that game. You know, we're not going to talk about that. But it means a lot, you know, just being in front of family and being in front of friends. Fans and friends. You know, being back in Dallas. You know, when I was a little kid, I used to watch Kyler Murray, you know, in that stadium, and now I'm playing in that stadium. It's kind of a cool deal and a 360 moment. So I'm excited and, you know, blessed for the opportunity.
With the idea you've only won once inside that stadium since A&M joined the SEC, I remember when the series was announced and it was still an out-of-conference series, and it's just a lot of excitement around that. You mean a chance to go into that stadium every year and play that team, and people just aren't thinking like that any longer for very good reasons, Matt. It is a really cool stadium, but after Arkansas wins this game on Saturday, I hope they never play inside there again, unless it's Cotton Bowl, playoffs, or championship.
Let's go ahead and get a W. And I don't know, you know, we talk about the last time a Coach Pittman team has beat a bowl team. When's the last time has Coach Pittman ever started out the conference 2-0? Like maybe Petrino did. I don't know how many times Coach Nutt did, but how cool, man. Just all your goals can be accomplished. Everything you want. You'll be in first place in the SEC. Start the conference season with 2 road victories. And be 2-0, man. This game's big for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it's you played Alabama early in the conference season for a while, so you didn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we lost
to
them 18 years in a row. So I guess
didn't get that one. But you go back to the old days in Southwest Conference football. Arkansas would go TCU, Baylor, and they'd be 2-0 every year. You know, then they play Texas, so get the Froggies and the Baby Bears. It was a good start to the conference. Now this is a different deal. You know, they can play with Texas A&M. They're not. This isn't a mismatch. What is A&M favored by 2 or 3? Is that what it is?
2.5 is what I saw.
Yeah, it's gone between 2, 2.5, and 3.
Well, Notre Dame beat them, and NIU beat Notre. You see Notre Dame playing, and I know that was the first game of the year, but yeah, I don't see any reason why we couldn't match up with them.
Yeah,
Lines
and Bowling Green
now. By the way, it's a 3-point line today.
Is it? Bowling Green's is a pure juggernaut. We know that.
Well, they had a tight. I mean, they came really close against Penn State too. I guess they're one of those MAC teams that will give a Power 5 team a good game, but not beat them.
Yeah, it's I'm excited for the game. It's I guess it's part of my DNA. It's the old Southwest Conference, so-called rivalry. Arkansas and Texas A&M have had some good games through the years, but Arkansas, until the last 12 or 13 years, that they were the dominant team in this series, and it's flipped around. But I think you're seeing a Texas A&M team that has so much newness in as far as coaches and players and quarterback play that they're not a slobber knocker now. I mean, they're not it's a game that if you play well and you play to your potential, I think Arkansas will win.
Well, they can run it too, and they've run it more successfully than Auburn has over the first 4 games, to the tune of nearly 6 yards per carry. And look, I mean, Arkansas played really well against the run against Oklahoma State. Had some troubles early against UAB, and then settled down, and it was really more about the passing game in the second half for the Blazers. Last week, though, Auburn averaged, it's 5.5 yards per carry. And some of that was quarterback as well. Brown and Thorne both got out there a couple of times. And I guess part of this goes to the idea of who is A&M going to start at quarterback, or will you see both of them? You know, Wagman's not really a runner. Reed is. But Le'Veon Moss is a veteran. He's been around a while. Amari Daniels, good running back as well. I mean, they got 2 or 3 runners that average over 5 yards a carry, and I think they've been a more successful team running than Auburn.
And Phil, when we were going into the Auburn game, I said turnovers I thought was the stat we needed to win, and that could be telling to who wins the game. I think you brought this up on Monday, and I think the stat that's going to be telling that who wins this game is the third down conversion. It's going to be the money down for us. Like, who better are we still going to be hitting at about a 53% clip on third down, and are we able to get off the field on third down? And you said that was Mike Elko's specialty.
Well, in some of this also, Clay, it's like 6, was it 6? It was 7 times. Third and either 10 yards to go or more at Auburn, converted on them. Twice penalties, scrambling by Green. He found Armstrong a couple of times in the bomb to Satania. It just feels like that's not really a script that you can expect to win week after week. It's third down and 11, third down and 19, third down and 10. I'd like to see more 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and they had plenty of that. It's just there was more success converting on 3rd and long.
Yeah, the recipe in the first 3 games was 1st and 2nd down, they were the winner. And they always had 3rd and manageable. That's the number the coach likes to talk about. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Those are 3rd manageables. You're dictating. You can run. You run play action because they got to figure you're running, but you can run play action, get some guys open, and you can run the quarterback. Some misdirection plays with the quarterback. So that's been their recipe, but that wasn't what they did at Auburn. Now, let me go back to Auburn's. Did you say they averaged 5.8?
Yeah, run? Auburn averaged 5.8 per rush.
You take out the one long run. It didn't hurt you because they fumbled it into the end zone and you got a touchback. But that was wasn't that a run? Or was that a pass?
It was 36.
No, the touchdown
yards.
was a pass on the
No, it was a fumble.
The one where Metcalf caused the fumble near the goal line. That was a run.
Yeah. So you take that play out, and I would say that Auburn's average really dropped down to where you think, Arkansas won the run battle if you take that play out, because they didn't hurt you with the run. I thought Jaquez is it Hunter?
Jaquez Hunter.
Yeah. He ran through some tackles early in the game, and then they got that fixed. Defensive tackles were hitting him, like hit the line of scrimmage or 1 yard or 2 yard, and he'd kind of wade through those guys, and then somebody else would get him down. They got that fixed as the game went on, and I'm pleased with what I've seen in the front 7 as far as playing the run, and they play the run. They're going to try to stop the run first, and I think that's how you win in the SEC. That's how they'll win this game Saturday. If they can stop the run like they did at Oklahoma State and the way they did in the second half against Auburn, well, they'll win this game.
Does number 40 Landon Jackson, does he record his first sack of the season, Clay?
Yeah, I don't know if he does, but he's been
playing
solid.
Yeah. I'm not saying the kid hasn't been playing good. He just hasn't gotten that breakthrough.
He's just playing his technique, man. He's gonna hold his side. He's gonna get the leverage. Gonna turn plays in, and then he's gonna run down plays. I mean, he will get off blocks and he'll make 5 steps to make a tackle. And if a defensive lineman can do that, then they're legit players. It sure has looked like the focus in the pass protection was to get help on him. So They need to get a little more pressure than what they've gotten. And you'd think that he would be that guy at some point this season.
And most of the pressure Arkansas has gotten in the last couple of games have been on the opponent's last drive. And you got your 2 sacks on Auburn's, I guess it was second to last possession, because they did get a last one after Arkansas failed on that 4th and 20. And it was kind of the same against UAB. So you'd like to see some pressure on A&M early in this Southwest Classic.
That's kind of been the missing link for this team. Yep.
We're in the home stretch of halftime. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. And when you're planning for the big game on Saturday with Arkansas and A&M, and you're bringing people over to the house to watch it, you craving something sweet and delicious, Andy's Frozen Custard's got a perfect deal for you and your friends for football. Take home a Pick 6. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. And you can find Andy's Frozen Custard at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, East Oak Street, and Dave Ward Drive. They're also in North Little Rock at JFK Boulevard. It's Andy's Frozen Custard. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you with a Pick 6 to take home. And halftime is back in the home stretch right after this break.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, it just kind of hit me with this deal with UNLV and their quarterback. I guess you wouldn't expect that to happen with one of the incoming quarterbacks for UNLV next year. Isn't Garrett Odom, Barry's son, committed to play
Fayetteville?
for UNLV? That's right.
Well, who knows if Odom's going to be at UNLV next year? I mean, he keeps it going. There might be an opening at Auburn coming up.
I guess we'll find out if he keeps it going with whatever quarterback takes over in this next week. But you can guarantee son is not walking into dad's office and saying, "Yeah, you're not giving me what we demanded from you and what you demanded from yourself." It wouldn't work out in that case.
Well, that's not who would do that. The son's agent would be there. That's mom.
You think dad? Well, all right. So I was going to ask, would dad and son share agent in this case? The answer there would be no.
No, it's mom.
Mama Odom.
Mom is like, hey, that car ain't going to cut it, Dad. You're going to have to get him something a little better than that.
Yeah, that little Hyundai
I don't know
Sonata,
her, so I
that
don't
little
know how that
Elantra
would
is not going to fit. We need those Lambos that were out at the Texas recruiting visit. Enough with these Hyundais.
Yeah.
Hyundai's a fine brand, by the way. I have no problem with it. I've owned it before, and it practically saved my life. It's the one car that I got into a crash with. And they tell you that those cars are good in crashes. I'll tell you what, they are. They really, really are. UNLV Athletics has put out a statement. Football player Matthew Sluka's representative made financial demands upon the university and its NIL collective in order to continue playing. UNLV Athletics interpreted these demands as a violation of the NCAA pay-for-play rules as well as Nevada state law. UNLV does not engage in such activity, nor does it respond to implied threats. UNLV has honored all previously agreed upon scholarships for Matthew Sluka. UNLV has conducted its due diligence and will continue to operate its programs within the framework of NCAA rules and regulations, as well as Nevada state laws.
What did Gundy come out and say right when camp got over? He said, no more talking about it. I don't want to hear it.
No more.
Yeah.
And then the next week they announced they were putting QR codes on the helmets for NIL.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, as far as Vegas is the sweetheart place for renegotiation, right? You go into the casino, you don't like the odds, let's just renegotiate. No, that didn't happen.
Well, when they find out you're cheating, what do? Drag you by your ear into a very small room.
Which hand do you dial your phone with?
No, they break your ankles.
So you better learn with the other hand. Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's right out of casino.
Yeah, it is.
Better stay away
Break
from
your
that grand
ankles.
piano.
Which hand do you shuffle your cards with?
It's like you're we got your picture all in every casino, just so you know. Everybody knows who you are.
Joe in Prairie Grove texted in a very nice, succinct summarization or summary of this UNLV statement. He says, "We don't negotiate with terrorists."
But we do negotiate with homies.
I guess in this case, he wasn't a homie. But here's what UNLV is saying, that we are sticking to NCAA pay-for-play rules and our state law. So if this was Georgia, if it was Georgia, or if Nevada had their own law that said, those NCAA rules, they don't count here. If that was the case, or if this was the University of Georgia, or it was Georgia Tech, or heck, it's even the University of West Georgia, Division II, for crying out loud, or Virginia Tech, or Virginia, or Old Dominion, or James Madison, they wouldn't have looked at it this way. They would have
Maybe not.
Maybe in that case they would have given the kid and the agent what they demanded because they wanted their quarterback to stay. Or maybe in this case they're looking at this as a very because really, is somebody going to come after them for this? Is the NCAA really going to do something about this? It doesn't feel to me like they would.
1% chance.
Maybe
we're always about the odds if we're talking about Vegas. 1%.
Maybe they don't want him at quarterback any longer either. Maybe they're looking at his completion percentage too. Which, by the way, everyone's pointing out to the completion percentage for Sluka at 47%. Taylor Green is under 50% for the last 2 weeks. So, and it ain't all on him. So, I mean, I don't know as far as Sluka's concerned what's going on there with his completion percentage because I haven't watched any UNLV football yet, but I do know that Taylor's percentage over the last 2 weeks is not far off from that. And there were some people that were calling for a change at quarterback. But when I watched this past game against Auburn, Clay, it is his team, and I want teams to keep blitzing. I want them to flush him out of the pocket. It seems he's a little bit more comfortable when he's throwing on the run, and this is another thing that he addressed yesterday at his press conference.
Wherever I have to escape, that's what me, Coach Petrino is working on, rolling out right and rolling out left, and I tell my receivers, if you're open, when you're open, because they're going to be open, I'm going to get the ball to them and just give them a chance. I saw Isaiah going down the middle and, I gave him a chance. He made a great play.
When he's rolled left and thrown deep, he's made 2 just gorgeous throws. I think the one to Broden in Stillwater was better than the one he threw to Satania. Isaiah made a great play on it.
That's just not normal. Going to your left for a right-handed quarterback and deliver a dime, it's not normal.
I don't know much about Green that's normal. His body type, the length of his legs, the length of his stride, how quick he is, how good he was. Just look at what I think it was a 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 10 last week, and it looked like he was about to be 4 yards short until he stops on a dime near the sideline and tiptoes for another 4 yards.
Go out of bounds.
It was amazing to see.
Yeah, Petrino almost immediately said he's an outlier, and I looked up in the column I wrote this week for ESPN Arkansas website, hitthatline.com, where you kind of explain what is an outlier. I mean, it's somebody that doesn't fit in the normal set, and that's the set of quarterbacks. You don't see 6'6" guys that can run. You don't see a Matt Jones. I mean, there's been 2 in the history of Arkansas football. I mean, I'm talking about 120 years or whatever it is. That's an outlier, and he does things that aren't normal. And he's 6'6". He's got some athletic ability. He can stop and start. You describe that play that you think he's going to go out of bounds, and he makes a little jab cut and takes another 4 yards. Well, that's not normal. It's not what people do. Throwing to his left, I mean, that's not normal. So he can do things that give you a chance when you think you got no chance.
Matt, is there something that defenses can try to do to try to contain him in that pocket? Because you've made a great point yesterday as I tried to compare, and I got to remember, don't do these comparisons between professional MVPs or Hall of Famers and college athletes. I do that with baseball way too much. Just because somebody can throw a backup fastball doesn't make him Greg Maddux. Just because Taylon Green can run and throw doesn't make him Lamar Jackson. You pointed out Jackson's a pocket quarterback, a pocket passer with sprinter's speed. Taylon Green is not a pocket passer yet. So what is there something that an opponent can do to try to keep him in that pocket?
If the Tampa 2, you go back to watching teams prepare for Michael Vick. You go back to you want Taylon Green to sit in the pocket and try to dissect you. Because the fact that we have some runners that come, he does look at the rush a little bit first, and that's just, it's fine. It's natural when you have free runners and they're happening. You kind of always kind of glance real quick, so you're a little bit behind. But if you rush 3 or 4, or you send somebody late, the main thing you want to do with quarterbacks is keep on mixing it up, making them think. If the quarterbacks start knowing what you're calling and know what's going on, then you're in trouble. So you gotta keep mixing it up and keep trying to make him uncomfortable and sending people from different areas. Maybe you send a corner when you're in the boundary, send a cat. Maybe you send 4 strong on the weak side one time. You try to mix it up where he doesn't really know where it's coming from.
You can put a spy, but that's a guy you're taking out of coverage, and that's a guy you're taking out of the rush. So you helped Arkansas if that's what you're going to do. All things being equal, he'd rather throw it to an open guy.
Absolutely.
So, we're not going to beat up the quarterback if he's throwing it to an open guy. So if they put a spy and they take him out of the rush, where he's dangerous is where you compress the pocket and you don't have a spy.
When you blitz man in behind, and then
he
you
knows
miss.
that all those defensive backs that are running and all you see is the back of their helmets, man, that's candy right there.
Mike Elko also addressed on Monday the idea of spying on Taylon Green.
So I think what you try to do first and second down within each of your coverage structures, each of your defenses, is you're trying to identify as the play goes out who kind of becomes the guy paying attention to him if he does pull the ball down. So I don't know that it's specific to this guy spies him. It's kind of as the play unfolds, as the route concept develops, as the coverage develops, who winds up in that spot that has to make sure he keeps secondary eyes on him.
Elko's talking about what you just spoke about, Matt. It's never the same person. It'll depend on the play. It'll depend on the routes. And if the defense is smart about this, and if they pick the right moment, Green won't know where it's coming from.
Based on, and that's a little bit how when Clay's talking about how you're adjusting your protection and you're shifting the mic over either one left or one right, and it is a numbers game. So if you're strong right, maybe that mic is shifted over one more to the right, and then where are you coming from? And so, you got to identify and go through it, and hope. Man, I'm telling you, whatever Auburn did to have some free runners, those same blitzes, Elko will run those exact same blitzes that Auburn ran.
Until you get the faucet turned off, it's going to run. It just is. But I think that you see each week Arkansas has made adjustments and there's been growth. Certain things that I saw Oklahoma State do that they haven't been hurt by that. Again. So
that tells you they're coachable. That tells you our team's halfway smart.
Growth.
Can't make the same mistake twice.
Hey, right now, Bet Saracen's got the Aggies favored -3. Hogs are +140 on the money line. They got the double R props up right now. How about this one? +130. Arkansas time of possession over 32.5 minutes. That'll be a really interesting one to pay attention to because the Aggies, they average over 32 minutes of possession per game. Arkansas is averaging 33 minutes of possession per game. So that's all on your Bet Saracen app. If you download it for your iPhone, get it from the App Store. Google users, Google Play, and all the web browsers work, betsaracen.com. Quick break, back to wrap up halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Here we are at Road Chevrolet once again, another month underway. It's back to school time, people going back to work, they need reliable transportation, and luckily, Grant Neal and the guys at Road Chevrolet are here to take care of you with a great selection.
We really work hard to source the best quality used cars. Thankfully, new car sales are picking up, which means that we're getting our new cars as trade-ins, which is the best quality used car we can come across. So we're really proud to have a great selection right now. Across the board, Honda, Ford, Toyotas, we try to carry a large selection and at every price point. So we've got cheaper cars for lower budgets as well as practically new, miles under 1,000 miles, used vehicles.
So if you need something you can trust, something you can be proud of, this is the place to be. Road Chevrolet. It's 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. We always say, prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Attention restaurant owners, managers, food service directors, and anyone getting ready to open a new restaurant soon. Don't miss Tankersley's Foods 80th Anniversary 2024 Fall Food Show on Wednesday, October the 2nd at the Fort Smith Convention Center. See, taste, and try items available for your menu starting at 9 a.m. Expand your knowledge with educational seminars starting at 8 a.m. It's the 80th Anniversary 2024 Fall Food Show, Wednesday, October 2nd at the Fort Smith Convention Center. Go to tankersleyfoods.com for details.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 0 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Sitting here eating my heart out, waiting for some lover to come. Dialed about 1,000 numbers lately, almost hang the phone off the wall. Looking for some
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt and Clay, just like I can't think Holy Cross football without thinking of Gordy Lockbaum. I can't hear Hot Stuff without thinking of the Full Monty. And being very happy that So my father, you're very well aware, our listeners, is an actor and has been on stage and been on screen, and he was in a stage performance of The Full Monty, and that would be a performance that I missed. Yeah,
Are you glad you missed it?
I'm very glad I missed it. I know what it all looks like. I mean, I grew up around the guy. I just don't need to see it on stage. Please, I don't need to see it on stage. It'd be the kind of thing, come and see me in a show. Oh, I love watching you on stage. What is the show? It's The Full Monty. I got to wash my hair. Can't do it.
I think that was, it's life is all about decision making, Phil. That was one of your better ones.
Yes, I make a lot of bad decisions. I think
that was a good one.
One of his bad decisions may have been do the show, but don't ask him that because it was one of his favorite performances.
Well, that's okay, but it's not something a son needs to see.
I don't think it was anything anybody needed to see.
Yeah, but you protected your own. I mean, that could be nightmares.
It's a lot of nightmares, just even the thought of it. But it was a good. It's a good song to wrap up.
As a 45 selection.
Now I can see the pattern here. C45 usually gets the last song, and which says something because Matt, I think you trust C45 with his music selections. He knows what he's doing.
He's batting about what we are on third down right now, man. We're in the top 5 on third down percentage, and 45 was right there with the Hogs third down percentage, getting it going.
See that? C45, 61% would get you a D- in school, but 61% for third down conversions is going to compare you to the greatest DJ of all time, Casey Kasem. Well done. It's been fun today. It's been a really good show. If you missed any of it, it's all available on the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out very soon. Anywhere you get your podcasts, of course.
Phil, I tried to behave for you. I was not so good this morning with Chuck and Bo.
Oh, you did double duty today?
Well, yeah. I mean, but theirs is. It's like 10 or 12 minutes. That's all they ask for me. They don't want.
He was playing with a safety pen during a segment, or safety pin during a segment, and you could tell he stuck himself. And he said, "Oh, I pricked my finger right there."
I used the word "prick" did come out of my mouth, but it was. I think it was something to do with Hugh Freeze.
Well, so just like George Carlin said, you can prick your finger, but don't. I'll leave it right there. Thanks for listening to Halftime today.
Thanks, guys.
For Matt Jones, for Christian, for Colton, and for Clay, I'm Phil. Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. Get up, get out, and get better.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farm.